二人ともあんまり家にいなかった。運動会や授業参観にも親が来た記憶はない。笑えるよな。
笑えないよ。でもサイト君と同じで嬉しいな。
そろそろ帰る。
ダメ。寂しいからもう少しだけ。
Alright, my friends, Girl I Hate episode number 10. And we're just 2 episodes away from the ending of this season or the anime, basically. And man, what a dumbass storyline we're in. Like, I don't mind. How do you say it? How am I going to say it here? I don't mind harem anime, okay? Like, I don't mind harem anime. And ultimately, if that is what the group agrees upon, right? Like, you know, she say this episode was trying to get Saito to kiss her. And he was like, oh, no, you need to save your lips for somebody else. And she was like, it's too late. So that just tells me, and maybe it was covered in one of the episodes. Sometimes, you know, my eyes glaze over in certain episodes. But, you know, maybe she say kissed him already at some point in their life. You know, she's expressed that she has those kind of feelings for him. So she's already a +1, you know, for his little harem group regardless. She basically has told both of them, like, hey, I'm so happy you guys are going to be married. Just know I'll be here too. You know what I mean? Like, you better give me a baby kind of thing. Like, so Saito's got to deal with breaking that off at some point or just allowing it to happen. You know, who knows? You know, obviously the show is all fiction, but if it was reality, he would have to figure out how to, like, you know, 1, we're cousins, and 2, no, you can't, you know, unless 𝐻𝐴NE says it's okay. You know, and then just, you know, gaslight her into believing it. So he has that one already. Then you have 𝐻𝐴NE's sister. I forget what her name is. But you have 𝐻𝐻𝐴NE's sister she's gone exponentially further than all of them. You know, she has seen Saito in all of what he can bear. So she's gone a lot farther. So, you know, who knows what her relationship will end up being. I would assume that she just pushes the boundaries, but I don't think that she would be part of the harem. And then you have this Himari girl over here, which, when I say this is a dumbass storyline, I think the pretending, and I'll talk about that in a second, but you have this Himari girl over here who is making it extremely, extremely clear that to not only Saito up front, but also to 𝐻𝐴NE that, you know, she is totally okay with being like the side chick. Like, she was like, go ahead, get married to Saito, do it for your familial business, but I'll be here, you know, to fulfill those kinds of needs. And you know, obviously she is reading up on psychology. You know, she is gonna probably be like a psychology major, so I think she understands that she has like attachment issues and she just loves very hard. So he has to now deal with Shisei and then Himari as well, potentially in the future. Now let's move that to the side because, again, we're not going to get to see any of that regardless because the show ends in 2 episodes. Now, when I say this is a dumbass storyline, I was so excited last episode for the truth to finally come out that Saito and 𝐻𝐴NE are living together. And I was like, yes, finally this cat can come out the bag and they could just, you know, face it head on. And they could even explain to the class of like, hey, our families have ties, you know, together. And because of that, they would really like to see us together. So we are tentatively engaged and we're living together. We don't know if that means that we'll actually get married, but this is what our family wants right now. We're trying to do right by them, you know, at this point in time. It's still a little weird, you know, but because Saito is part of the Hojo group, which is, you know, he's basically like the, how do you call it? It's like if it was like Sony or, you know, Square Enix or Capcom or something. Basically, like he's part of a lineage of like one of the biggest companies in Japan. So I don't think the students would be like, oh, you know, it makes sense that his family would want to coordinate who's going to be in or not in their family, you know? But instead of facing it head on, they pussyfoot around it again, and they come up with this stupid scheme where Himari and him will will pretend to be boyfriend girlfriend so the heat can get taken off of 𝐒𝐚𝐧. But it's like the why behind it is so silly. And I guess me and you, we can say, okay, well, then the why behind it is because 𝐒𝐚𝐧 and Saito don't really like each other, but they do. And 𝐒𝐚𝐧 can't really deal with that reality, and they don't want to bring turmoil into their life, which they already have. So basically, there's not really a real reason for them to just not face this head on. So they come up with this stupid scheme. Now, my problem with the whole thing in the scheme is, and I talked about this last week, is this anime is one of those big things. I feel like the authors just kind of, effing around with us as they go forward. Like, they don't really know what's going to happen either. They're just kind of bullshitting their way through. Because a few episodes ago, we took two major leaps forward. We solidified that Saito realizes 𝐒𝐚𝐧 likes him. We had a realization that 𝐒𝐚𝐧 realized that she likes Saito. So those two things are out of the window. They both have realized that they either like each other or they like one another. And this was done because Saito called out 𝐒𝐚𝐧 for her jealousy. And he played with her emotions, like, I'm going to go on this date or whatever. And then he waited around. He didn't go because he wanted to see how 𝐒𝐚𝐧 reacted. And she reacted the way he thought she would if she was jealous and if she cared about him. So instead, they decide to go out on a date together instead. So he takes her out, to grocery store, whatever, bullshitty. But, like, they go out on a date. They go out together. And I was like, okay, and this was like 3 episodes ago. So I was like, okay, that has them finally realizing that they have feelings for each other and there's something there. There's a spark there. Then that led us into the stupid-ass sister stuff, which was really unneeded, but threw a whole wrench into it. And then now that has led us into now this next thing. So it's like, okay, well, where did all those realizations... It's like they'll write in that they realized all of this stuff, but then now it's like none of that shit happened. And it's like, it's so frustrating as a viewer. Because one of the things I always preach about is like, hey, we have 2 episodes left. There is not going to be a payoff for us. We are going to have wasted our time by the end of this. And we're just going to be like, oh yeah, well, we watched some mediocre anime. And it wasn't a complete waste of time, but it wasn't like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't even kissed or anything. Maybe we get a kiss by the end of the season. But it's so unlikely because now, next episode is called Episode 11 Voice. What that means is 𝐒𝐚𝐧 is just going to find her voice to finally speak up to the fact that she's jealous. So maybe episode 12 will be like feelings, you know what I mean? But like, that's going to be the end of it. So much like a lot of other animes, like a couple of cuckoos, I'm looking at you, I fucking hate the anime, wasting my goddamn time. It's just going to end up being an anime with a non-ending ending. And that is so frustrating. Because the show is charming and there's a lot of really good stuff here. And 𝐒𝐚𝐧 really carries the show. And the grandparents, oh my god, they're the best characters of the show. But where the F are they at? They've only appeared like 1 time. And mostly the grandma. They've only appeared like 1 time after the initial episode. So they've deprived us of legitimately the best characters in the show. Like there's stuff here to make a really, really good show. It's just another letdown. I'm just so disappointed. So anyways, yeah. Unless you're looking for like some fan service, we got some Himari fan service. I don't mind seeing a little boobage, you know what I mean? A little booba, you know what I mean? Like, she looking good. But like, unless that's specifically, that just what you're watching anime for. It's like, and I doubt that, considering this type of genre this one is in, it's just really disappointing. So yeah. All right, I'll see you guys next week for episode 11. Hopefully it's better, but this is like a 6 out of 10 for me. This episode, and not because the product we got was really that bad. It's just the storyline is just, I don't vibe with any of it. So I'll see you next week, my friends. Subscribe, like, before we leave. Peace out.